Happy Doctor Who Day, everyone. It truly is a special, special day. I was a very, very scared little boy. Maybe I'm still a very, very scared little boy. And I needed an escape and I needed to learn something at the same time. And the Doctor did that for me. A special character, no matter who plays him. A magical character, an intelligent character. We don't have anyone like the Doctor out there. An intelligent character who can take you onto wondrous adventures, but also teach you something at the same time. People ask me all the time, who created Doctor Who? Who came up with the idea? Well, a very clever trailblazer called Sidney Newman. He came up with the idea. But it would be wrong just to give Sidney the credit. Verity Lambert produced the show for a few years, from the very first episode. I mean, she was amazing. There was very few women back then that were given responsibilities like this, and Verity was brilliant. And then you had the director of the first few Doctor Who episodes, which was Waris Hussain, an Indian gentleman who went on to direct The Passage to India. So these were trailblazers. These were very, very talented people, everyone. And we're talking about 1963, and they cast William Hartnell as the Doctor, an aging actor who had done this, that, and the other. Never been huge, but he did okay. And obviously, William Hartnell was fantastic as the Doctor, because this was Sidney Newman's concept, that there will be this mysterious, jolly old fellow called the Doctor. He would have a granddaughter, he would have a couple of companions, and you know, the time machine, the TARDIS, all of it really was Sidney's idea. The man truly was a genius, but you can have all the great ideas in the world without someone to execute them in the right way. And here on this channel, we talk about good execution all the time in terms of films and television. So as I say, you can have the best of ideas. I've got a string of ideas that I've put into Doctor Who, Superman, in live action, and different characters that I look up to as a child and still do. But without the execution, a good idea isn't worth the paper it's written on. As I say, it's not just about the idea. And the idea was excellent, but it was the execution. And without Verity, without Waris, that would never have happened. So you've got to give it to Sidney Newman for, in 1963 or whenever they started developing this idea, to go to a woman, a very talented woman. She weren't put in that position because she was a woman. Waris Hussain didn't direct those few episodes of Doctor Who because he was an Indian man. They just happened to be a woman and an Indian man who were talented. But the point was, Sidney Newman didn't say, no, we're not using them. We're not going to use a woman. We're not going to use an Indian man. They did. He did. He used them. And he stuck by them as well. Sidney Newman was a genius. I mean, he created the Avengers TV show. No, not those Avengers, another TV show from the 1960s. So he created a lot of good shit. Sidney Newman was a television dynamo. I think a Canadian guy who actually ended up coming to the UK because the UK was a place where, dreams could come true in terms of television. So on November the 23rd, 1963, Doctor Who launched. Amazing. Amazing. A historic day for any Doctor Who fan. Do you realise, since that day, we've been able to consume brand new Doctor Who stories from that day up until now? Because even when the show went off the air in 1989, there was books, there was comics, then eventually we got Big Finish. So it's never stopped. It's an amazing story, the Doctor Who story. The story of how Doctor Who came to be. Go and watch the docu-movie by the genius who wrote it, Mark Gatiss, who's written many of the Doctor Who episodes, An Adventure in Space and Time, that tells the story of how Doctor Who came to be and beyond. Just been watching it. I'm very emotional. Doctor Who means a lot to me, just as Superman means a lot to me. As I say, I was a very scared little boy. I had learning difficulties. My family didn't really understand those difficulties. I was a very lonely, scared little boy. And all I had at that time was that little box, that little magical box that I could turn on and escape to. And Doctor Who and Superman and Knight Rider and different stories on that television box were very important to me and gave me the escape from the bullies at school, the teachers, my parents, my siblings. Not that any of these people were bad people, but they didn't understand how frightened I was to be a little boy with no confidence. I didn't speak till I was like 1 or 2 properly. My mum was very worried about me. The nursery was very worried about me. Preschool, you Americans would call it. So I wasn't a normal little boy. I'm certainly not a normal man today, but I'm trying my best to survive this scary world. And it is a scary world when I think about it, but I try and greet it with a smile and do my best. But I wouldn't be here today without the escapism in that magical little box. Doctor Who is a character. What a lovely world it would be if Doctor Who and Superman existed in our world. Imagine if you could fly with Superman, if he was there to pick you up when you fell, or if the Doctor could turn up, like he has done or she has done for many, many ordinary human beings, and offer you that escape. It's a beautiful concept, everyone. The TARDIS is like I suppose, The Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe, the Chronicles of Narnia. It's that magical wardrobe you can step into and escape, but also you learn something about the world and yourself. These stories are very, very important. And they're not stories that have been created by the modern generation. They're stories of our history. It's the people from the 60s, the 50s, the 1800s, the 1900s, the 1920s. They're where the pioneers come from. And Doctor Who is no different. But luckily, Doctor Who was revived in 2005 by a Doctor Who fan called Russell T Davies. A man I truly look up to. The man loves it. He's a genius. Then he gave it to Stephen Moffat, another Doctor Who fan. Then to Chris Chibnall. Whatever you think of him, he loves Doctor Who. So nobody's really touched this show that didn't care about it. And that's important. Doctor Who is so utterly unique. And I don't know what you're going to do today on this Doctor Who Day. Don't forget, this time next year, we'll be celebrating the anniversary, the 60th anniversary with Russell T Davies, David Tennant, Ncuti Gatwa, and beyond. Maybe we'll get lots of cameos and guest appearances from previous Doctors and previous companions. It's such a special show. And all those people who've been involved in Doctor Who and are still able to stand up are still there celebrating on social media. Maybe Big Finish. Amazing people, everyone. I am proud to be part of this Doctor Who community. This is why when we're divided about something, I think it's such a shame. It breaks my heart because we should never be divided. You can like Hartnell, I can like Troughton. You can like Tennant, I can like Christopher Eccleston. It doesn't really matter. You can like Jodie Whittaker. Maybe Ncuti Gatwa will be my preference. I don't know. But that's the beautiful thing about Doctor Who. We don't have to fall out on what we love or don't love about a near on 60-year franchise. An amazing franchise. A beautiful thing about wonder, escapism, and education. Learning from such a clever character. As I say, there is not a character in television or film that is as intelligent as the Doctor. That's what's amazing about this character and the elements that have been given to him over the years, or her. It's not just the fact that the character's intelligent or that they can travel through space and time. There's lots of many facets that have been given to this character by different clever people. It's amazing. It really is. So, welcome to the Doctor Who family if you're new. Doesn't matter what part of this character you love, you are welcome. You are valid because Doctor Who is special. Everyone and everything that's helped put this character together from 1963 to 2022, I thank you. You are so special and you mean a great deal to me. Today I will carry on rewatching the Doctor Who revival. So I'm watching the return of the Cybermen in the revival today. It's season 2 and it's very exciting. And I can't wait to revisit the alternate world where we see Pete Tyler and Rose is compelled to see her father, even though it's not really him. So it's a very emotional 2-part episode. And I will carry on with this revival. Later on today, I will watch the very first episode of Doctor Who, which was broadcast in 1963 on this very day. So, from one scared little boy, when I first met Doctor Who, when I first met the Doctor, to a bunch of other scared children out there, the Doctor's going to be there for you. My first Doctor was Peter Davison. In fact, he was my only Doctor for a very long time. After he left, I couldn't consume Doctor Who. That's another thing about this unique franchise. If you get into a version of the Doctor, it's hard to embrace the next one and the next one. So it took me until Doctor Who the movie to embrace another Doctor and Paul McGann. And of course, I haven't looked back since the beautiful, wonderful revival by these multiple Doctor Who fans. And they've been brilliant. So I hope you enjoy Doctor Who Day. Happy birthday, Doctor. You are my hero, no matter who's played you or who's written for you. You will go on to be my hero and new generations' hero. Today there will be children born who one day will embrace the Doctor Who family. You lucky people. The Doctor will give you an escape and will teach you things you never knew. He will teach you the wonders of the universe. Whether the Doctor's played by a woman, a man, a gender-neutral person, a black person, an Indian person, a Greek Cypriot man, whoever. The Doctor is fantastic. And he or she spans identities. And whatever you want them to be, the Doctor can be for you, like any character. It doesn't matter who you are. If you love Superman, it doesn't matter if you're a woman. You can imagine yourself as Superman. It doesn't matter. It's cool. That's what looking up to fictional characters is all about. So today, everyone, is a very, very special day for all Doctor Who fans. And I welcome you. And I give you an imaginary hug. Because you're all part of my family. Because when they talk about childhoods and ruined childhoods, because maybe the next person running Doctor Who did something you didn't like. I don't believe that for a minute. Because even if I don't like what's going on today with Doctor Who, I've still got old episodes that I value that I can go back to. Nobody can ever ruin my childhood. But when people scoff about the childhood thing, just remember, before I met the Doctor, I was a very, very scared little boy. There will be scared little boys and little girls out there who also need a fictional hero to help them learn and escape. We're all scared little boys and girls, and however you identify us. And characters like the Doctor are important. And the fandoms that surround the Doctor are a community. And we should start becoming a community, a united community that care for one another. This has been Movies TV Mad. I am Mick. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I will see you again in the next video. Until we see each other again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. Happy Doctor Who Day. What a wondrous universe and character.